What's up, One Piece fans? It's time for the latest chapter review for the next piece of One Piece. Chapter 1111, 1111, entitled The Sun Shield. Now, before we get underway with the review and stuff, of course, we all know that Oda's taking a well-deserved break. I'm fine with it. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, another one, like, because it's going to be a 3-week break, one chapter, and then another break right after, because Golden Week or whatever it is, or whatever thing in Japan, another holiday or something. And I have zero problems with this. Most of the major YouTubers that I've watched, that I like and respect and stuff like that, they've been saying the same thing. Is that if we only get 30 chapters of One Piece a year and Oda remains healthy, that is a way better trade-off. I mean, so many shonen mangakas, end up in hospital or close to it because they just can't keep the pace. This is an impossible pace to keep while remaining healthy. It just is. Thankfully, the industry has slowly been changing, and of course, with the tragic passing of the man, the myth, the legend himself, the GOAT mangaka of the last quarter of a century, Akira Toriyama's passing. That was also mentioned by Oda in his note, just saying, look, I'm taking a break. There's nothing wrong with my health, but I want it to stay that way, so I'm just going to take a break, spend time with family and friends and, chillax a little bit, and then he very much deserves it. So, anyways, just wanted to point that out there, and yeah. So, anyways, I am totally fine if Oda wants to take a few 3-week breaks, a month-long break, a couple of times a year even. I mean, we all get 2 weeks vacation. In every other industry, in the West at least, it's a minimum of 2 weeks vacation owed, not including sick time, not including, if you have seniority and you get some extra paid days and stuff like that. So why should mangakas be any different? They absolutely deserve it, especially ones as decorated and writing such an amazing story like Oda. So I'm all good with that. I saw a few people, but nobody worth mentioning, sort of upset that, oh man, we gotta wait so long for the next chapter of One Piece. And sorry, I don't have sympathy for that. But anyways, we're here to talk about the latest chapter before we get a big break. And there's a few things going on in this chapter. For those of you who didn't watch Tekken 101's video on the Zoro versus Rob Lucci stuff, I urge you to check that out. It's 100% exactly. He brings up all the arguments and all the great points, that basically encompasses as to why, like, if we stay away from the subreddits and stay away from the memes and stuff like that, this makes total sense how Zoro versus Rob Lucci went down. Now, this chapter might go slightly against, but I'm going to say, no, not even that. Go slightly against what Tekken was trying to put down, but it basically, his point is that Zoro here at this point is sort of taking a little bit after Mihawk. You don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. That's just, it's not what you do. And funnily enough, in this chapter, we have not Zoro saying that, but one of the Gorosei members, the big bird one, forget which one that is, but badass design, love this giant evil pterodactyl looking thing, and goes up there and basically says that, the classic villain insect line, like, I do not notice an insect, all insects are the same to me, like, when you step down, maybe you kill an insect, maybe you don't. You are the boot, all that. I mean, every villain, I swear, has done this. How, Shishio, Aizen, Frieza was really about the monkeys. But yeah, you get my point, right? So many shonen villains have the insect line, You're nothing but an insect to me. So yeah, it's actually stated here by the villain this time, so that's kind of a flip on it, but it happens right directly after Zoro and Jinbei get away, because Zoro has, of course, he used that leopard hunter attack. He finally used 3 sword style. He said, screw the 2 swords thing. He's like, nope, Sanji, is bitching at me, so I'm going to take him out, right? So he does this, and we know that he basically took him out pretty much in one shot. Not using his strongest move or anything like that, but finally using a named attack against Lucci. Does heavy, heavy damage, as we can tell here. Jinbei basically says, Zoro, come on, it's time to go. Like, we gotta go. And this is where Zoro says, "Oh, Rob Lucci is actually still standing." He goes, "No, no, no, I'm going to go for him." And Lucci is there, and he's huffing and puffing, and he's bleeding out, and he's, there's a lot of damage there. But he decides, he catches his breath, and he goes for a roar, and that's when Jinbei basically has to grab Zoro and say, "Zoro, you just won the fight. Let's get out of here," and stuff. And he goes, and Zoro's like, "No, no, 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 no." And this is where Jinbei uses Fishman Karate, and with 5,000 brick chop, just blows away. Now Lucci guards against this and stuff like that, but he just uses the chop in the general direction, takes out some trees, takes out the landscape, makes a big smoke cloud, that kind of idea, because Jinbei is awesome. And that's when we see Lucci immediately, he was on his last legs anyways from that attack, still conscious after fighting Zoro, but he immediately loses his hybrid form. I'm under the impression that he couldn't maintain his awakened hybrid form any longer, because once he doesn't actually get hit by the Fishman Karate attack by the looks of it, but just that little bit of, that last bit of energy just to block it, he's out of his awakened form. He's just in his regular human form at this point. So yeah, Zoro straight up won the fight. And as I said, I could make the same arguments, because I already have in previous videos and reviews, but I could make the same argument as to why Zoro was struggling against Lucci, and I already made I've made different points, but I also made the same points that Teki made and stuff like that. But his was really, not that he needs, my help to get views or anything like that, but I urge you to go check it out, because he does it in a very well-drafted, concise form, to basically say, like, yeah, this actually makes sense as to why Zoro why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do the other thing? It's all pretty straightforward. So, yeah, either way, we have the bird show up, right? The giant ass, super awesome ass design. As I said, the Gorosei designs are all cool. I love all these designs. And there's been some theories that they're not actually devil fruit users and all this stuff. And it's like, okay. Is that possible? Because we didn't get the name of the fruit. We got the name of what they are. Like, this is the ox boar or the ox demon or whatever. It's like that and stuff like that, right? We got the names of them and such, right? But we didn't get, like, it's model this, model that, right? Okay. One, I'm just going to straight up say it, Oda might have forgotten. 100% meant to include it, forgot last minute, and pushed out the chapter, because he's done that before. So let's just table that. He'll probably answer this in an SBS going, yeah, I meant to, I forgot, and there was not an opportunity to do it again, so I'll answer it here in an SBS. You just wait. We'll get that information. Number two is the fact that not only do they transform, and we've seen this, they transform, right? They're humans, and they transform, or humans, the Gorosei, but whatever, humanoid. We've seen already a hybrid form with Samurai Gandhi there, and with the skeletal horse stuff, so we know that that's a thing, and we've seen them in a full animalistic mythical zone form. So yeah, and plus that big giveaway with the awakened black flame fire ring around them, like all the other awakened zones have. Yeah, sorry, I've read some of these theories. There's some big ones already that these guys, they're trying to tie together the transmutation circle summonings and all this stuff, and Eam, and how these guys are special and they're all immortal and stuff like that, because that's obviously not a devil fruit ability. They, in this chapter, 100% revealed to, I believe this is the first reveal, confirm that it's Conqueror's Hockey, that they're using, that the Gorosei can use Conqueror's Hockey. I think it was pretty obvious, but yeah, it's definitely confirmed this chapter as well. So once again, the immortal thing might be something separate, just like the transmutation thing is something separate. These are still devil fruits as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. Anyways, the bird flies down right away, and Rob Lucci is like, what in God's green earth is this horse shit right now? Holy fuck. But immediately what I find funny, and I'm grateful for it because it speeds the chapter along, because obviously none of them are supposed to see these forms. Nobody knows who these guys are and stuff. It's like admirals only, basically, know about this, right? At best, we can assume that admirals only know about this or aren't shocked by this. Rob Lucci is absolutely shocked. Was he told? We don't know. I'm guessing he must have been, because it seems like he's so shocked. Like, who the hell is it? This bird comes down and goes, Cypher Paul, Agent Zero, Rob Lucci. Report. Where is York? Just immediately. And Rob Lucci's like, there's a giant fucking dinosaur bird talking to me. You know? Like, immediately. That seems to be his expression. But then he, and Zoro and Jinbei notice the giant bird thing. And Zoro's like, oh, what's that thing? No, Zoro, come back here. Because, you know, Zoro's like, all right, now it's bandana time. See, that thing reminds me of Kaido. It's time for some Enma hockey right now. You know, it's time for some of my Conquerors hockey to showcase some shit. Right? So, you know he wants to fight the giant bird, but Jinbei won't let him. But that's when Rob Lucci immediately goes into a report. York is still tied up in the command room, and this is what happened here. And currently, those are the 2 of the Straw Hats. 5 of the Straw Hats are here, and he gives an entire report. 2 Vegapunks are here. This, that, the other thing, right? He immediately goes into a report. So I'm gonna go off on a limb, but when I first read it, it seemed like Rob Lucci had no idea that that this was one of the Gorosei. He has no concept. Now I'm thinking the H0 agents know about this? Maybe? But if that were the case, I feel like Sabo of the Revolutionary Army would have known as well, and he was shocked and stuff. So it does read weird. Did Rob Lucci know that the Gorosei were powerful, that would transform? He's clearly never seen these forms before. But was he given the information? Was he told that they have mythical zones or something like that, right? Or that they were powerful? Something, because it just seems so funny. It's like, who the fuck is this bird talking to me? All right, yes, I immediately will give you my report, sir. With no evidence of who this, you know, it's not like he transforms back into one of the Gorosei, recognizable or something like that. So it threw me for a loop. Let me know what you guys think of this, because it seems like, okay, the Gorosei is super secretive and nobody knows about it, and nobody knows they have devil fruits and and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, Rob Lucci, who is, yes, he's part of Cypher Paul Zero, but so is Stussy, so I mean, I don't know. Anyways, or the clone of Stussy. So yeah, either way, he goes into that stuff, and you know, there's remaining 6 minutes left to the message, all this stuff, and that's when Gorosei just basically goes, no further questions, I'm peacing. And Rob Lucci immediately, we see a side of Rob Lucci that I believe, I don't know if we can use cover requests as a result and stuff, but Rob Lucci actually cares about Kaku. I'm just there wasn't really any evidence for or against that he cared about his companions to a degree this entire story, but we've never seen it outright like this, I would argue, because he immediately goes to, obviously at this point he realizes that this is one of the Gorosei, yada yada yada, and he immediately just says, please wait, my partner is actually in the command room, the place you're going to right now. You know, he's gravely wounded, like, please don't kill him, please save him, please spare his life, right? And this is where, as I said, the insect line, the classic, it's always the insect. You know, the boot has no qualm with the ants, you know. So, in no uncertain terms, the bird Gorosei basically just says, you know, he doesn't even say, I'll try. And the insect line, he basically says, one does not attempt to step on insects. It simply happens. There was another translation that basically had the boot line. But it all summarized in the same idea that he goes, basically, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to spare his life. I'm going into the command room and I'm going to do what needs to be done. And if he's collateral, he's collateral. That's kind of too fucking bad. I'm going there to blow up the command room pretty much. And I'm not going to put in any effort to try to save Kaku. So, too bad, so sad, right? Is basically what he says. So, a little, I won't argue out of character for Rob Lucci, but a side of him we've not really ever seen so blatantly before. And almost, not embarrassing, I guess, but almost like, okay, he's putting aside his pride and stuff to actually beg for, he's sort of showing weakness as a predator. He's showing a little bit of humanity, compassion, weakness, whatever you want to call it. And the Gorosei is basically like, I don't give. You can ask, but I'm not actually going to do anything about it. And then he flies off. So it was like, oh man, that's like a double blow, right? Then the next part of the chapter is actually pretty good because we get here's where everybody is. We're still getting the locations where everybody is. Dory and Broggy just being the goats, being like, hey, Straw Hat, how you doing? And Straw Hat's like, and Luffy just like, I can't believe it's been 2 years. You guys are awesome. He goes, what's with that outfit? What do you mean what's with that outfit? What's with your outfit and stuff? And they're just having a grand old time. And the worm Gorosei has yet to recover and does not recover in this chapter. So Dory and Broggy did some damage, man. Plus, we get some Dory and Broggy feats because we've got 2 of the Gorosei there, the big boar one and the spider one, Saturn and, I forget, what is his name? Warcry, I think is the boar one. Anyway, so Warcry and Saturn are here, and they're just basically like giants. So this isn't as good as, what's going on. And these things are huge, by the way. Like, the Gorosei are quite large, as we've seen. But it's hilarious that Dory and Broggy are like, look at these beasts. They look like they came from the Elbaf forest. So it's like, yeah, so these things are big, but nothing that Dory and Broggy haven't hunted in the past. That we've seen that before. Like, they're massive, but they're not the biggest things in One Piece, right? So Dory and Broggy are like, those things are fucking huge, man. Like, what's their story? What's their deal? But either way, Dory and Broggy basically said, like, we're just here to get you. We're not here to start a fight. I think there's been an overall victory. We're getting out of here. Our job was to come here and take you guys away and get you a safe passage off of this island. That's what we're doing. We're going to sound the horn of Gondor. We're going to sound it, and we're going to get peace out of here, right? So this is where the Gorosei decide to try to attack and stuff. And Warcry there does literally a war cry, a Conquer's Hockey war cry, and it's like, whoa! And it's a big one. It's an island-sized Conquer's Hockey and stuff. Dory and Broggy and even Luffy are a little shaken by this. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa! And Luffy comedically loses like his eyeballs, his hat, his everything like that, his sandals, and Broggy's there just like, the hell is happening to Straw Hat right now, right? So they're having a grand old time with that, but they survived the Conqueror's Hockey roar and stuff like that, and they mention it. It's like, are you alright, Straw Hat, and stuff like they're totally fine. It was like, oh, that was a pretty good battle cry or whatever, and they said, a color of the Supreme King roar? Who is that guy? They're like, oh, damn, we didn't expect Conqueror's Hockey, but it's funny, it didn't seem to affect, I'm sure anybody left on the island that isn't strong enough completely got comatose from that. I'm sure it's very powerful Conqueror's Hockey. Not Whitebeard, Roger, Shanks Hockey, but still, it's probably right up there as top tier Conqueror's Hockey. And it still made them shake a little bit, like Dory and Broggy. It's just another feat for them. What should be a feat for the Gorosei is just another feat for Dory and Broggy there. Dory and Broggy just basically like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like, these are one of the strongest, like, these are the Gorosei. They're using Conqueror's Hockey, and Dory and Broggy just put up their little arm shields like, whoa! Damn. Now that was a roar. And they just go back to normal. It's like, it should be a feat like, damn, the Gorosei have Conqueror's Hockey. Holy shit. It's like, no, Dory and Broggy just no problem with it, Like, that's awesome. Like, Luffy was more affected in a comedical sense with the, with the wah, thing than Dory and Broggy, which is quite funny. So they decide to go in. Warcry decides to try to attack them with a 4-tusk attack or whatever it is. And they're just like, Sun Shield! And they both just flex their arms, shields up, and boom, they stop the Gorosei right in his tracks. And in fact, after that, they actually use an attack. It's got different translations, but they basically shield bash him right back. So they block his tusk, and then they just flex, and boom, baby, shield bash time, and they send Warcry flying. I'm like, once again, guys, I know power scalers were just fucking seething, but I love that Dory and Broggy, badasses from the the beginning of One Piece, pretty much, came back and are just the baddest bitches. They are just so manly. They're just so awesome to see them coming back. Bam. Like, I don't give a fuck about your power scale. I'm Dorian Broggie. We've been feared for 100 years. We are not, we are not to be trifled with. And funnily enough, Warcry also says, like, we have much to settle with your kind, but do you even know who that is you are defending? Who he truly is? And then, Dorian Broggie, just absolute mad lads, total. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the internet one? Chads. You're right. They're just goats. They're chads. They're just like, of course we know who he is. He's our friend. Boom. Like, they don't give a fuck. I just love it. I love it. So they slam him back and stuff like that. Saturn tries to use those poison bullets or whatever, like spits like poison or whatever out of his mouth, according to Luffy. And I'm like, oh, is there going to be acid poison stuff and stuff? So he grabs a nearby tree, chomps it down, Toon Force style, turns it into a bat, batter up, and boom, knocks all of the spit projectiles back at him, starts laughing. He's like, how about you have a taste of your own poison? And the Warcry and Saturn are like, oh shit! And boom, and they completely, it's like, boom, boom, boom. Huge, like, mushroom cloud explosions. And even Luffy's like, wait, what? It wasn't poison? They were explosions? What the fuck? So, it's just a mess of a fight. It's awesome. It's so hilarious and stuff, right? So, this is where Dorian Broggie are just like, yeah, well, the flames and stuff, they're probably comatose and stuff. And Luffy's like, no. They're immortal. We can't do anything about it. And we see, finally, the worm one is coming back. The earthworm one. So, all three of them are back into that, like, blackish, like, ooze symbiote form, like a venom symbiote form. And Dorian Broggie are just like, immortal? Really? And he goes, well, I don't actually, Luffy's like, I don't know, but they keep coming back. No matter what I do, they just keep coming back for more. And Dorian Broggie are both like, I've never heard or seen such a power in any of the races or anything like that. Well, we better run. Still a victory. We're gonna peace. And I'm really not under the impression that Dory Broggie, it's 3 Goroseis versus Dory Broggie and Luffy in Gear 5th. I really don't see the Gorosei getting the upper hand on them, even if they wanted to, And that's not a bad thing. It's just showcasing how badass, and this is why the Giants are so bloody feared, because their top dudes are literally a fight for admirals, for Goroseis, for, that's the point. These guys are up there in the upper echelon. That's why Giants are so feared. That's why they want them, because they're that badass. So that's all that's showcasing. We see a couple of, it seems like Vice Admirals are waiting for Jewelry Bonnie at the ship and stuff like that. So a couple of them are there and trying to block the path. There's Jewelry Bonnie, there's who else is there? Sanji, of course, is running his ass off to try to get there. Kuma's out of commission, obviously, and stuff. But yeah, so who knows what's going to happen there. And then we see that the bird Gorosei finally actually did get to the command center. And immediately just goes to York and just goes, where's the room with the monitor? And I'm like, okay, this message is 100% going to get out. I wonder if it'll be cut off at the end. That would be Oda cucking the shit out of us. You could argue taking the 3-week break before we get the message is cucking the shit out of us too. But for all we know, we're not going to hear the message until like chapter 1115, right? We don't know when we're actually going to hear the message. So, but yeah, I definitely think we're going to hear part of the message. And I'm curious as to, will it matter? Like, even if he blows up even if Egghead gets Buster called, which it is, but it's a failure. Even if the Labosphere and everything gets blown up, I wonder if, now that it's started, it's something that can't be stopped. Like, it's on the internet sort of thing that Vegapunk created. I'm curious. I am curious about that. So he immediately goes in there, and York's still there, alive and tied up, and he's like, well, it talked, who are you? Go away, and stuff like that. So this is the reaction I'm wondering, that why didn't Rob Lucci sort of have a similar reaction, like, what the fuck are you, dinosaur bird looking thing? Immediately. But yeah, so he must have known about it. We actually jump back to Kizaru, who is out of commission, it seems, but seems to still be in an emotional turmoil more than anything, because he's going, they're like, Kizaru, show us your wounds, let us help you. And he just says, am I wounded? Yes, deeply wounded. Just let me rest. and stuff like that. So he's just laying there feeling sorry for himself because he's like, am I wounded? And he's, I think we can all take the same thing away from this, is that he's emotionally wounded. This has been really hard on Kizaru. In the same way, in a similar vein to how Garp had to stand between, with the Ace's execution and stuff like that. Like, he's a Marine, he's got to do his duty and stuff, but he doesn't like these orders. The reason he's not an Admiral, only a Vice Admiral and stuff. All the same reason we're sort of seeing Kizaru's tug and pull, sort of idea here going on and stuff. And it's just, yeah, I don't think when he says, I am deeply wounded, I'm thinking he's talking about his emotional, because I think Kizaru, obviously, straight up has said multiple times, I don't want to be doing this right now, but I gotta follow orders, all that stuff. So anyways, the last panels of the chapter show us the giant has fully awakened and has started to move. The technology that Vegapunk based everything off, everything that Vegapunk owes to his 500 years in the future, because he basically, what's it called? Not deconstructed, but it's when you take what Vegapunk basically did. I forget, he not repurposed. I forget the term, but there is a term for basically he took something that was made, he brought it back down to basics so he could learn how to build it again, sort of idea. Yeah, so I forget what that term is, but it's used for more than technology, but yeah. So reverse engineer. He reverse engineered. This is why Vegapunk Vegapunk is obviously scientifically quite smart to be able to do that, but most of his knowledge and everything that he knows how to do and why he's so advanced is because he reverse engineered this giant, and this thing has finally woken up and stuff, and is moving and stuff. So it's just like something has appeared and stuff like that, and it immediately just says, sorry, Joy Boy. And that's the end of the chapter. It's like, oh, okay. So what else is going on here? See, there's quite a bit in this chapter. The fighting was awesome. The Zoro basically one-shotting Rob Lucci was pretty awesome. All the Gorosei designs are awesome. Dorian Bragi just completely breezing through a Conqueror's Haki Roar from a Gorosei, just elevating them. It's such a great feat for Dorian Bragi to showcase. This is why the Giants are so fucking badass. And it also shows how terrifying Big Mom is once again. And we also, of course, have the end part of the chapter with, is the message actually going to be interrupted? Is it going to be stopped? Unlikely, I think, but maybe cut off like the last paragraph, the last couple of lines maybe, but I just don't see it. I think the Gorosei are going to try, but they're going to fail. And it's still going to get out there, and that's going to be the big change going forward. I actually am wondering if we're going to have a small time skip, like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks on Elbaf or whatever like that, where we sort of go through that. And the news of Vegapunk's thing spread like wildfire. The world government was in tatters and did this, and this. Meanwhile, like a Morgan's paper report and stuff, it's been 3 weeks since the incident, blah, blah, blah. And where are the Straw Hats? And we see them chilling on Elbaf or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, there might be a time skip after this fight, but just a minor one, not like the major 2-year, like arc to arc style. But yeah, really good chapter. Love the chapter. And once again, I am more than patient to wait for Oda to have a well-deserved rest and then jump back to some more greatness that is One Piece. So, but that's it from me, guys. What did you guys think? Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you guys all back here next time for the next piece of One Piece. Might try to make some more One Piece content in the 3-week gap in the meantime if I have the opportunity, if I get a One Piece related video idea. But maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to table that one for now. But yeah, if not, we'll see you back here in a few weeks. Have a good one, everyone. Sayonara.